Welcome to the Row One Seat One podcast. This is Ben, aka Boston Nuga. Hold on,
Oh, you got Bush Light?
you got Bush Light, brother.
I didn't
I am here as a tribute to the one called Manders. I'm here with the tall boy Bush Light.
look like a scrub right now.
I expected it from you.
I've been trying not to drink during the week because I drink a lot during the weekend, so
I can vouch for this.
it's fair.
We will talk about our karaoke exploits later.
Oh,
Let's.
yeah.
I already popped you over 30 seconds into the show. Fantastic. So, welcome to the show. As the voice in the background you hear is independent wrestler extraordinaire, and a phrase I'm going to utter 10 times. The man who wrestles fucking Kojima, the one called Manders, a dear friend of mine, we're going to talk about his football exploits because he's the best football player you know in wrestling, and the smartest football fan you are. And the smartest football fan, actually, J.D. Drake, Cole Radrick, they know their shit too.
Other
But
shit, but they don't come close, dude.
they've
They
not
might know,
blocked
they
for
might know
TJ
people
Becker.
now and everything like that, but like, if we're talking X's and O's, dude, get the fuck out of here. No way.
We're gonna get into it. Don't you worry. But they have not blocked. They've not attempted to tackle Christian McCaffrey either.
Yeah, kind of. He also broke every Rose Bowl record. We played him. So.
All right, let's start football. Fuck it.
Yeah, we might as well.
Manders was better known before the wrestling world as a fullback for the Big Ten East champion on many occasions, University of Iowa Hawkeyes. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
You let's go into that because that's what we bonded over at first. You played for the legendary Kirk Ferentz and the not legendary son of Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah, no one likes Brian.
No, but you were a fullback on the Iowa football team. What year?
13 through 17.
Hell yeah! And CJ Beathard was your quarterback.
Beathard was my quarterback. Jake Rudock was my quarterback. We also had Nate Stanley, but he was. I don't think Nate started till after I left. Nate was pretty good too, though.
You're friends with Kittle, George Kittle.
I'm friends with George. Yes, we used to roommate together back in Iowa in those days.
You were roommate. Super Bowl. Let's not date ourselves.
We're getting old. We're getting old. I'm feeling it.
My hip went out. Let me tell you. But no, you were roommates with George Kittle. Fuck it. Tell me about legendary Super Bowl hero George Kittle.
He ain't no fucking hero, dude. No, he's a good dude. He's just a big old goofball.
You guys bond over wrestling?
He's like he's one of those people that like he can light her whole room up, like just by his personality, right? Like he's a very positive person. How we got into wrestling? He was like one of the only people that did think it was weird that I liked it. I got more back into it when like the network came out. So like when Sting and like the whole network was popping up and like Lucha Underground, those were like the main three things really. And I think at the time I said this on Twitter because he just did a commercial with Penta and then they had Priest in there. But I knew about this commercial like months ago because like Priest and George sent me like a picture of themselves like sending it. And I thought it was kind of sick. I think it wasn't the commercial like Chubbies or some shit? I don't know. I don't even know what the commercial was. Anyway, there's a clip of like George just doing a bunch of moves to Priest selling his ass off like he always does. So then like, so then he like, I forgot where I was going. Oh, so we were watching. I was watching it at the house, and at the time I would work out. I was like 5 a.m. workout. So in the summer they'd have like 3 workouts. It'd be like one in the morning, one kind of mid morning, and then one in the afternoon. The one in the afternoon is on the one you wanted to be at, right? Because we'd be running our ass off, and the summer heat in Iowa, dude, and people don't think it gets cold in Iowa, but it also gets hot as fuck, like
Well,
humid.
was your strength coach like a maniac too?
Yeah, Doyle was a maniac. I like I liked I didn't. Doyle's a hard subject, right? Because like
Okay, yeah, yeah,
I'm not saying he was a good dude, um, but like obviously the stuff that he did obviously made successful athletes, but like as people, I'm not sure. But I mean, he he hated my ass. He hated my ass the first years. He hated my ass the first like 2 years. He would always he'd always be like, how would he describe me? He would he would be like he'd always my nickname in football was for him at least in the strength conditioning department was mankind because even though McFoley's like 6'5", but like nowhere near that obviously, right?
yeah.
But like Mick Foley probably wasn't the most athletic person in the world, right?
Sure.
But dude was Mick Foley was crazy and he was persistent and had a heart of gold and all these things, right? And he had a mean streak and he had a work ethic and all those things. So like that's how like he always compared me because I didn't have any athleticism in the sense of people 6'5" that are freaks, right? That could jump high and run fast. So I had to
Well,
work for everything.
Foley gave
Yeah.
many fucks, and one of my things that I love about you is you give many fucks.
Yes, I do, which is a blessing and a curse depending on who you are. I think over time in wrestling and just in life, I've definitely given less of a fuck on things, but you kind of have to. But then also too, you do have to give a fuck, right? Like, but he would always call me mankind, right? He'd like give me shit and all that stuff. But like I'd work out at 5 and he'd work out at like 9. I think it was like 9:30 or something like that. And he'd come back and I'd be watching either Lucha Underground or something on the network. It would either be Attitude Era or Sting, right? So
Yeah.
he started like, what the hell is all this? Like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Who's this guy? And then we got to the point where like I think like the Cruiserweight Classic came out and like we started watching all this shit to the point where we were watching Raw every Monday, which is insane to say because it's 3 hours. But like so that's kind of how he got like more of a fan out of it. And then once I started wrestling, a whole nother world. So he's
basically in the wrestling.
basically, yeah.
Now he can't get enough.
Now you can't get enough.
Now he's wearing pentamasks on the field. That's wild.
I still can't get him to any indie shows. He came to Sup one time. Yeah, it was like
there?
Like 2018, 2019, probably. I think you were there. Had to have been.
Jesus.
I think it's when I wrestled Bishop.
Why didn't you introduce me, son of a bitch?
I don't think we knew each other then.
What's your name, man?
I think we knew of each other. We didn't we weren't as tight as we are now.
Yeah.
I was also the baby at that point. I didn't know shit for shit. I didn't know who were the super fans and who were just casuals. I had no idea. I was like, oh, I'm driving 8 hours to hang out and wrestle.
Okay, let's talk about stuff because I actually brought this up to someone today. So you were a fullback in college, and you came to SUP, and the fans immediately liked you and started a chant. What are they chanting, you Manders?
But me, dude. Yeah, you should have seen my ass in college. It was bigger, dude.
We chanted butt meat at you at Southern Underground Pro in Nashville, and it was the fucking best part of the day.
Yeah, it really was. To the point where I made merch out of it and sold some. I think I still have like a few stickers left. I was like, I can't sell these. I have to keep them.
I'll put that on the
catalog. And I don't keep anything.
I'll put that on the catalog. I don't give a shit.
Dude, here, let me pull it. Can I pull it out?
It depends on what you're pulling out.
No, like the sticker.
Yeah,
I don't have any like to get to that point. I even got it.
Yeah, if you got merch flying around, sure. Or on video. So hell yeah. While we have you here, talk about
the Iowa football legacy, because there's a lot of guys walk through that door who are.
Dude, there's tradition from like the days of Nile King, Pride to like a lot of legendary football players like played.
Were the alumni and like the NFL guys and stuff like that like helpful with you guys? Did they come back and did they like
Dude, every summer, like one summer we had actually I got that anger at wrestling. All right, here it is.
Incredible.
It's Philly butt meat.
He's about the video portion of this. He's holding up a butt meat sticker, and it's just a butt with a cowboy hat
with Iron Maiden font. I love it. It's funny.
Amazing. So good,
fine, dude.
But okay, so like Big E, did he come back and give you words of advice? Because you're a wrestling guy. He's a wrestling guy. Yeah.
There's a lot of guys. Like Big E was one. He came back during my end of my junior year, I want to say. He came during the summer because they had SmackDown Des Moines, right? So it's like the way the Iowa map works. You got 35, and you got really about it. 35 goes this way, 80 goes this way, right? So from Iowa City, if you just take 80, eventually you get to an hour and a half, you get to Des Moines.
Yeah.
So he was traveling through. And he came to see the new facility because at the time we had this new facility. It was like 40,000 square feet, like all this crazy shit. I think outside Alabama, they were like Iowa's facilities are probably like the second best. And
because I was flying like Clemson.
Yeah, well, Clemson eventually got it. In 2015, 2016, the University of Iowa had like the nicest facility.
There you go.
So he came. And like Doyle and all those guys knew like I like wanted to be a wrestler, like did and all those things. He was telling me like, hey, when you're done with your final, like Big E will be here. So I came over to the facilities and fucking here's this big ass large like refrigerator of a man, Big E Langston, or Tori Ewan, whatever you want to call him. And he was kind of the guy who introduced me to wrestling. In the sense of, hey, if you really want to do this, there's a school in Davenport, which is 40 minutes east if you take 80, and it's Seth Rollins' place. So right then and there, I was like, dude, this is happening. Like when I'm done, it's happening. So Big E was like kind of the guy. But we had a bunch of people. We had like Marshall Yonda always came and worked out every summer. Which is crazy because like Yonda, is probably the best pro guard.
Yeah, he was all decade, I think. Yeah.
To ever walk this earth, right? Like, so here's a guy that's in his 30s running with a bunch of 20-year-olds, and he's beaten half of them. Like, I think he was always either first or second in any type of running drill, and it's like it was crazy.
He was a 230-pound guard.
Yeah, 300-pound guard. That's in his 30s, that doesn't need to be there, makes millions of dollars, doesn't have to like he could just cruise the rest of like, but like it goes to show you that like here's a guy, the reason why he got there is because of his work ethic and how hard he works, right? Because like when you look at the story, if you hear the story of Yonda, right, like he wasn't a decorated recruit, he wasn't. I think he wanted to play D end, and then they moved him over to guard, and then like the rest is history. He was a JUCO guy. He was like a 2-star, if that. Like he wasn't like, you know what I mean?
No.
He's not the biggest dude. Like I mean, like okay, in the grand scheme of the world, yeah, he's a big guy, but like he's only like 6'3", 6'2", 300 pounds. Like
there's a lot of those.
That's not that big. That's not that big. In the guard land of the NFL, you know what I mean? Like, so
who is the guy that like you wouldn't suspect would be an awesome, helpful guy, but like turned like under the radar was like, oh my god, this is the guy who who's guiding all of us and like came back and was super cool and
like as like that was like an NFL guy that came back.
Yeah.
What do you think? there was a lot of guys. There was like I would say like Dallas Clark, but like
Oh, yeah.
I kind of expected that. Like Dallas was cool as shit.
Sure.
Maybe like too cool. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe because of like the fact of like he's like one of the greatest tight ends ever,
Yeah.
and the fact that he wanted to come back and like help like
He
the
caught a
kid.
million passes from Peyton Manning. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
like
Very cool.
he was cool. I'm trying to think of people that like, because it's weird in Iowa, right? Like a lot of the Iowa players weren't like these decorated athletes. They
Well,
were all like they're all
coaches
free.
you up.
What's that?
He coaches you up. Like he
Yeah,
takes
he does. And like
right.
the system of Iowa is like one of the most hardest places to ever like play at because you have to really like believe in the system and you have to trust the system. Where like a lot of places you don't have to do that. You just show up and you do your thing and you leave. You're there for 3 years and if that, and then you're gone. Like I like development program is like one of the most hardest ones of all college football. Probably still is. Like even without the like Coach Ray was our assistant, which he's the head trainer now. Coach Ray was there the whole entire time that Coach Doyle was there. So like you have that experience on like we had strength coaches that like there was a time we had like two or three of them outside of Doyle that like they could have all been head strength coaches at other places.
Yeah.
They'd rather not. And then you got guys like, you got Coach Ferentz and then you had Coach Parker who was the D coordinator who like he could have been a head coach somewhere too. Like
Yeah, I mean that defense every year is the best defense in the country.
yeah, and then like I'm pretty sure
the system stays the same.
it was Seth. You had Seth Wallace, who was a linebacker coach when I was there, but he also did special teams. And then you also had like Coach Wallace was like I think he coached before Iowa. He coached Valdosta State, pretty sure. And then you had like Coach Woods, like LeVar Woods, like he played in the NFL, and he also was a player at Iowa. So like you had like guys like that who were like they could have been coaches other places, like in a bigger role, but they all like. That was the thing I noticed at Iowa. It didn't matter if it was football. Like it could have been. It's literally like administration to the electric janitor or the janitor guy that like worked at Iowa, where like all these like people like worked there for 10+ years, if not longer. So like the tenure part, like everyone had that, which I feel like it's hard to come by now because so many people just come and go. They just go fuck this, we just go to the thing, or
It doesn't
they don't
happen anywhere else.
see. You know what I mean? Like that was the one thing I noticed at Iowa that I really appreciated the most was a lot of people. It wasn't not even just football, just even the administrators in like the school department part. Like they all were there for X amount of years, and like it's just kind of wild. You don't really see that anymore. I feel like.
So you played fullback.
So when I came in, I wanted to play fullback.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, they wouldn't let me. They wanted me to be linebacker, and I kept saying, "There ain't no fucking way I'm going to play linebacker here." Especially at that time when you had, I think when I was a freshman, you had James Morris, who was the middle linebacker. He didn't play much in the NFL, but like he's one of the most decorated like linebackers at Iowa. And then you had Anthony Hitchens, who played for the Chiefs and the Cowboys, and then the strong linebacker was Christian Kirksey, who he played for the Browns and I think Green some other places. You had three legendary linebackers, right?
Yeah.
And then, like when I came in as a freshman, you had Josie Jewell, who he doesn't play for Denver anymore. He plays for somebody else now. But he's been in the league for about 7 years. And then you had Bo Bauer, who he was like the local high school badass that they loved. And then like you had some other alternate people. I think the other one's Ben Neiman, but he didn't come till later. So like, and Ben still plays for the Chiefs. So it's like you had all these dudes, and I'm sitting here like, there ain't no way. Like, I always wanted to play fullback in college anyway. Like I didn't so I think it's my freshman camp. It was not my freshman camp, but my freshman bowl camp. We were playing LSU, and this was the time when this was like 2013. So LSU had Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Zach Mettenberger.
Yep.
They had some other people, but it was like the most stacked LSU team that went 9-3. Didn't make any fucking sense to me. But they were, yeah. But they wanted so I think at the time, Ben, you're throwing me on the loop here. I haven't thought of these things in so long. At the time, we had Mark Wiseman that played fullback, but he was a running back.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Adam Cox, right? And we had this kid named Macon Pleva, and then we had another kid. I forget his name, but he got he had like cancer, and he was like fucked up. So like we didn't have any scout people to like play fullback, and at the time they had a fullback at LSU. I forget his name. He was really good. Oh my god!
The white kid.
White kid, yeah, he was like number 44 or some shit like that.
I'm talking about too. Hold on.
They used to call him like Mac Truck.
Hold on.
Yeah, what's up?
On terrible radio, but it's gonna drive me crazy. What's his fucking name? Anyway, I know you're talking about. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Anyway, so like they really need to scout fullback, and I literally was like, "Let me play it. I'll play it. This is my opportunity." Because it didn't for me. Like a lot of people on scout, they like the freshmen and younger guys. They get scared, right?
Yeah.
I didn't mind fuck. I don't care how big you are. I don't care if you're the starter of this. Don't care at all. The only way I'm chilling out or not really making it seem real is if the coach tells me stop. And even then, good fucking luck. Like, this is my break. This is my opportunity. This is my time. I'm going to make it everything I want it to be.
And if you're on the scout team, every snap for you is like your left.
That's how I took it, and that's how I got what I got in the long run. But eventually, so the point of the story is like here's this freshman kid who no one wanted, no one cared if he was there, or, right? And he's not a scholarship athlete, and I just named all those 3 linebackers that are all pro Big Ten, all pro linebackers in the NFL. And I was just like, I don't give a flying shit. So I smacked Anthony. I smacked James Morris, which I'm all buddies with now. We're all cool now. But like at the time, I didn't give a flying fuck. I didn't. And I wish I could show some clips of it. I'm sure we could go back and find them of like film and stuff. I'm sure I have it on my phone. But like I didn't give a fuck to the point where they were basically like, yeah, fuck him playing linebacker. Let's let him play fullback. And the rest is kind of history after that. I mean, I had some injuries along the way and all that kind of stuff, but like I played special teams. I got to travel. I got a scholarship. I got to do all those things. But like, yeah, it's kind of cool at the time. But it's fun like bringing it back like full circle. Actually, that was the Outback. So my senior year was the Outback Bowl. I'm pretty sure George was out that too when I was a freshman. Sophomore or redshirt freshman or whatever the fuck it was, and we full circle we go back to the Outback Bowl my senior year, and I already met Biggie and everything, and I already like submitted my Black and Brave application for wrestler, and we were playing Florida that day. We were playing your boys.
Yeah, I know.
And like we got our fucking ass beat because
I remember.
Or I don't think the score was that bad, but like it was it was a very bad. Yeah, it was a very bad game. And that night was Monday Night Raw. So me, Tyler Kluver, who is the long snapper, who he does these podcasts now. They call Washed Up Walk-Ons, which is like a big thing for Iowa. So like he's made like a cool thing out of it. And then George and my dad, we all went to fucking Monday Night Raw. We got tickets from Big E. I think Rollins too. I can't remember. Rollins, like I knew of Rollins and Rollins knew of me, but like not very much. But I had a bum hammy though, and literally, so normally in bowl games, right? Like in college, like you get like a month off or whatever. But when you play football, you don't. Like you literally get 2 weeks and you go back to the grind.
Mm-hmm.
So like after the bowl games and shit, like after those, and it wasn't even the 2 weeks. Like it was literally like I think like a week later, I did the tryout for Black and Brave. So I had a bum trying to do these like workouts where like it's you got these kids who are all super fans of Rollins, right? They're not fucking there because they want to be a wrestler. They want to be there because they want to see their which is, I'm not saying Seth Rollins wasn't cool. He is cool. He's sick, but like it didn't matter if Joe Blow was running the fucking show. Like I wanted to be a wrestler, so I'm doing that with a bum hammy a week after getting our ass beat in the Outback Bowl. It's kind of funny how it all works.
I had Kaya on a couple weeks ago, and she said the best thing about Black and Brave. So you entered Black and Brave training school, American Brave, and the artist known as Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
She said that Merritt treats it like it's a college, like he has like a college syllabus for the program.
Yeah.
Basically. And
Yes.
like the best resource is actually like not even the physical stuff, but like the mental stuff they teach you. Would you agree with that?
Yes and no.
Okay.
When yeah, I mean, not to like shit on Kaya or anything. Like Kaya's into like she's into like the super graps of like these intricate transition moves and these fancy holds and all that stuff. Where like, yeah, that's great and that's cool to learn, but like, no one's going to teach you what Merrick teaches you in the sense of like the syllabus that he talks about and the syllabus that he shows. It's all the shit that was taught by Tom Pritchard, who like Tom Pritchard's like one of the goats of like teaching fucking superstars. Like, so like,
like just the basic rubric, like he treats it like a class. That's what Marsh meant. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that shit's kind of boring, but like, I mean, it's like anything you do for starters. Like, it's all the basic bullshit I really have to do, and it's like, yeah, you have to like. There's so many guys on the indies that, like, if I hook back suplex, they have it wrong, or they plan it wrong, or they don't hit it right, and you get dumped on your head, or you don't. Like, but like those you got to learn. Like, I think the mechanics and the way they teach you at Black and Brave is different than anywhere else. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best place in the world, but like, is any place really? Like, so like, I wish more of the mental stuff was more into it. I think because like the one thing I look back on it now, I didn't learn this shit till I was on the road. Where like, how do you ask for pay? How do you ask for trans? How do you ask for those things? How do you get booked on shows? You got to like figure that out on the way, which is not a bad thing, but like that's like the one of the things I wish that Black and Brave probably taught. But it's kind of, I don't think anybody really teaches that. I wish they kind of did. But that's also wrestling too, where like, I guess if the ones that really want to know and the ones that really want to do it, like they'll figure it out, right? But like, I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
So I met you pretty soon after you went out of school, or out of
like 2 years after. So I started in 17. Literally when I started wrestling, after like 6 months of like doing the fair shows at Iowa, started running at Ian's at IWA, which was a lot of like, as much as people talk shit about Ian, and yeah, Ian's a piece of shit, but like I learned a lot from Ian. I learned a lot of people that were working at Ian's. Like that's how I met Sammy. That's how I met the Rascals. That's how I met JD Drake and Anthony Henry. That's how I met Mance. That's how I met Justice. That's how I met AJ. That's how I met eventually meet Effie. Like I met all of them because of IWA Mid South, and like
We had an all-star roster at all times. I mean, for all of
like
the
like you kind of did. Like that was like the last guard. I feel like we were like the last people of Ian's. Well, I mean, obviously Ian doesn't run anymore, but like.
Oh, wait a minute.
I met John Wayne Murdoch there. I met Jake Christ. I met piece of shit Dave Christ. I met God, I met so many people. I met the Macizos. I met Nick Gage.
And all that shit comes
All those guys.
Right?
Reed Bentley. I met all. So yeah, not long after that, like, and then literally after I started wrestling Ian's, I started going everywhere. So then, yeah, I started running, a year later after that. So it's been 2 years, and I started hitting the South, where I met you, met Mo, met Matt Griffin, and Dylan Hales, and Tank, and I guess Kurt Stallion's another guy I could say. Like he was like Stallion was the reason why I did start doing a lot of Southern shows like Sup and Scenic City and Action and all that kind of stuff. He was another guy that like I saw what he did. Was like
the two biggest road warriors for you and Stallion. I knew every weekend both of you were going to put 1,000 miles in your car.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't have a car explode like he did, but I was pretty close a few times. But like, yeah, he was the guy that like I saw him do all this. I'd see him everywhere. I'd see him at AAW, I'd see him at Ian's AIW, and then the South, and he was like saying all these things, and I sat there, I was like, this is the fucking way. Like it is. Like it makes so much sense. And it's funny at the time too, when I was training at Black and Brave, I didn't live in Davenport. I was still in school. So I would drive a 2-hour commute, an hour there, an hour back, 3 times a week, sometimes 4 or more, because you had to like get a workout in too. Like if you didn't get 3 workouts in a week, sometimes I'd be in Davenport for like 8 hours a day. I would do the workout for an hour, and then the rest of the time I was there training. So like I was kind of already like putting the miles in without even noticing it, which is another way to take it. And I'll start doing it.
Do you find that windshield time sacred? Like, are you when you're traveling? Is that like a lot of people fucking hate it, and a lot of people are like, no, this is my happy time. I can be in the car, often with my friends. Like that's when I learn the most. Where do you fall on that spectrum?
I always like driving.
Mm-hmm.
Always have. I don't know if it was because my grandparents always, like my great grandfather was a truck driver and like all that kind of stuff, and like listening to like the country music that like resembles that kind of stuff. I don't know if it just hits me. I always like it and I think now because it's now I fly a lot now, so I kind of driving a lot, but like not to flex at all. I'm not trying to flex, but like like there's nothing like hitting the road. You're on your own accord, your own time. Yeah, it's in my happy place. I think it's because of muscle memory now, but like there was for that span of that 2019 when I met you, where I bought a Toyota Corolla that had 10 miles on it, and then by the end of the year it was at 110.
I remember that car.
Yeah, Bonnie. I remember that car.
Remember that car? Absolutely.
Now we got a 2500 Silverado 2024 that's cost almost $1,000. So there you go. Fucking A.
Fucking A, man. All right, so I'm so lost. Now, one of the first places I met you, and this is gonna bring you back. I've seen you on a couple shows, and I went to the Nick Gage Invitational in 18 or 19.
19 in Jack.
19 in
yeah, I remember that.
You were, and I'm talking about your work ethic here. You were wrestling wise one of the most talented people in the building.
Yeah, and I wouldn't.
And you were in the ring sweeping up all the glass. You were the only one doing it. No one else was sweeping up glass. You were sweeping up all the glass.
Yeah.
I knew at that moment, I'm like, this is the guy. This is the guy. Because you know what? He's like, I've seen him wrestle a bunch of times. He's really fucking good, but there's no ego here.
None.
And they ask for something to be done, and he does it. And there was a lot of glass that night. There was a lot of glass.
Oh my God, there was so. That's probably one of the greatest ever. Well, that was the first one I went to, but like that show,
Wow.
like goes, but like even like I nostalgia. It's actually like think of the people that were on it, like Schlag, Tremont, Gage, Mance, Justice, Eric Ryan, Cologne, Marcus Crane. Like you had all these people.
Two red fucking things like a dick.
Yeah, big red dick.
Big red dick. It was incredible. It was incredible.
And then at the end of the night, Nick wins it, right? And fucking comes out and takes the belt. RSP. That starts the angle.
I will never forget that whole day, because there was Blackfield before that day.
It was like before that.
I was there for about 16 fucking hours.
Yeah, you were. We both were.
I was so cooked, man. That was the best I did of my life.
That was the. I don't think it was the first time I met Brett. It might have been like the second or third time I met Brett, because I think the first time I met Brett, we did the combat next when I was on it. But then the next
combat, Brett.
Yeah.
Bring back combat.
We're in the sports entertainment era. GCW. That was a Joey idea. I don't think Joey's ideas work anymore.
Those were the best. Okay.
Wombat was sick though, dude. Wombat was sick.
Okay. Context for people who have no idea what Wombat was. We're inside baseball this whole fucking podcast. 3 people are gonna understand.
Wombat's like Southpaw regional wrestling. The thing on
Wombat was GCW ran a show in, what was it, 18 and 19, I think, or something like that?
Yeah, it was 18, 19, yeah.
In the Gypsy Joe Arena in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Which is...
if you walk in there and you touch anything, you need a tetanus shot.
Yep.
It is, but so much wrestling has happened in that building. Tullahoma, I have to travel 1 hour and 20 years back in time.
Yeah.
It's a place. It's amazing, and GCW decided to come there and ran. It was more Memphis than anything, right?
Very Memphis. I mean, we got to be there, dude.
Yeah, fucking Tommy Rich was there. Fucking Mike Jackson was there.
Me and Mance wrestled. I think on the second Wombat, me and Mance wrestled Tommy Rich and Wildfire Tommy Rich and Matt Jackson.
Mike Jackson, yeah. Combined 173 years old against Steve.
Yeah, literally.
This was so much fun. Fucking Doug Gilbert.
That was the moment though, like the NGI4 when I met Brett and I did all that sweeping and helping out. Mm-hmm. Brett was literally like, "Hey, if you ever want to wrestle for GCW, just message me. Don't message me on Instagram. Message me on Facebook Messenger or whatever." So that's when I was in.
Yeah, that was that. Like, I knew your work ethic at that point. You're sweeping up glass. You're one of the best wrestlers in the building, but you're the one sweeping up the glass in the ring, and that made an impact on me. I know that made an impact on Brett. Yeah,
it did.
Yeah, and now he's flying goes every weekend.
And this is the first I've said this out loud. I'm sure it's going to post on here sometime. And I don't think of moments like this a lot because I don't boast, and I don't want to, and it's all about the journey anyway. But when we have these conversations like this and we talk about a topic like that, I really believe because I swept a ring like that and did what I'm supposed to do, and you do what you're told, and in that sense, where the reward of and me paying my dues and whatever the fuck you want to call it, and the triumphs and tribulations of GCW, for me, now I'm gonna go to Japan this summer because of that. Yeah. So no one knows that till you now. I mean, sorry.
Well, we're on a podcast.
We're on a podcast. Figured I should say that. I'm sure they're gonna announce. But
Well, we're gonna find out. I'll drop them a line and say, hey, by the way.
you know,
That's awesome.
I just dropped some nuggets on.
I fucking love that. I'm so happy for you, dude. That's that's so good.
Yeah, it's
So good.
pretty exciting. So.
All right. Okay. Segue. See how I do this.
Hey, we're at 40 minutes. I told you to go longer. Yeah, believe me.
No. I'm a journalist. You know that about me.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
You went from. Here's where I'm going with this. You went from sweeping the ring to now you are one of the top stars of GCW, one of the big guys in MLW, Action Champion, FBI Champion. It's been meteoric over the last few years.
Yep.
COVID didn't stop you. Fucking post-COVID didn't stop you. You've just been on the way upwards. And I think that, I mean, there was a metaphoric ring sweeping moment for all these people who said, you know what, this guy puts in the work, this guy puts in the miles, this guy can go. I'm going to put my trust in Manders because I know I can trust him to represent my belt, trophy, brand, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
In a positive way, in a way that I can be proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you could say that. Yeah. Yeah. And tell people, or if young guys do listen to this or whatever, I don't know. You just can't stop. You just got to keep going. If you really want this, don't stop. And there's many times where we had the run in 19 and 2020 hits, and you're told all these things you're gonna get. Yeah, cheers. I wish I had some goddamn Busch Light now. Only got water, but here's like the rise that you're supposed to get, that you think you're supposed to get. All this bullshit like people put in your head, and you put in yourself in your own head. And here's the stoppage. We're in COVID now, and I was forgotten about. And in a sense, I was to a point. I was supposed to win the sub belt. I was supposed to win all these things. Blah 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 blah. Right? Where it's like
the world was fucked.
The world was fucked. But here's the roadblock here, where a lot of people would just allow and disappear and go, "Say fuck this." Where if you want this life, it doesn't have to be wrestling. If you really want something, go get it. And it's not as easy as I'm saying. But I'm sure there's going to be a roadblock the next year or 6 months or whatever. I don't know. Or tomorrow. I don't know. But I'm enjoying it, and that's what you have to do. You have to think that way, and it's fucking really hard. So just don't. That's the only thing. You got to be consistent in wrestling.
Let's talk about the last year. Let's talk about the last year of your career, because I'm disgustingly proud of you for especially the last 12 months. It's you're killing it in GCW. He's flying all over the country, everywhere, and you're a star of that show. Let's start with GCW. Fuck it. How's that experience going? Being one of the top guys at GCW, being an Angle, being in, working with their top guys, being part of their crew. Because you're in a different major city every weekend, pretty much for GCW.
Yeah, if not new states and shit. I've been to 47 states now or whatever, and I never thought I would wrestle in New Mexico or Utah or whatever the fuck, right? You got all these random places, or Phoenix. I didn't think I'd be in Phoenix to wrestle their place. It's cool in that aspect, and to the time where you wanted to be that, and then now a few years later, now you got it, and it's just and I wrestled Zilla Fatu in Phoenix, and there's a lot of things going on in my brain where when I first started GCW, you had some singles matches, and then the pandemic hits, you're kind of there and you're kind of not, and then like you're only in scrambles, you're only in six mans, and then you started this group with you, Mance, and Justice, and you're only doing six mans, and then you're like wondering like why can't we get any single matches, and then like you're still in these six mans, and then Justice leaves, and then you're like in these hodgepodge of other things, which is all cool. Don't get me wrong, and then it's like, you start doing these other angles, you start doing these other things, and then you start to get like, introduced, and you start doing stuff, and like you want approval from your boss, right? So like, so now you're finally Zilla Fatu, like, kid, and it was a good match to the point where Brett was like, "Hey," so we go, brings me and Zilla to a Brazilian steak, buys us the food, and you're sitting here like, what the fuck? But it's like, here's your reward, dude. Like, appreciate your work. And it's kind of wild.
That's awesome.
But it's just like one of those things where like, it's just life, dude. Like it's not supposed to be easy. Like it's supposed to be hard, and like when you're in the shit, it sucks, right? But like you gotta love the grind, dude. Like there's a song by Tyler Childers. It's "Stick Your Nose on the Grindstone and out of the pills," and it's just like every time I hear that song, it's just you put your head in the dirt and you just fucking go to work. And it's a thing that I was taught when I fucking first started when I was a kid playing football, and it was a thing that was bred to us at Iowa, where you stick your nose down to the ground, you just fucking go to work, and you got to have that want-to quality. You ain't gonna make it in life, so that's just.
My proudest moment of you was almost a year ago today. SCI 2024.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Because I knew where you came from, and I knew what that meant to you. And okay, let me ask you, what did that mean to you?
Dude, man, it meant the whole fucking world. Where like, God, we go back again. Where like, 2019, you win the Actions Future Showcase, which is like their Young Guns tournament, and you're like, I want to be where Daniel Makabe is, or all these people, and it's like, the next year they don't have it, right? Because pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
The next year after that, I lose in the first round, and then the next year after that, you're not even in it. And it's like, damn, I was one of the guys, and I said, fuck it, I'm gonna just go. I'm just gonna go to one. And I think that's 2023. Yeah. So then I go, and lo and behold, Trish Adora can't make her like Mr. Flood. I mean, that sucks, but like, Scott was just like, Scott and Matt were just like, Manders is here, and so it's like, and then you do the first round again, and then it's like, okay, it was probably my last SCI, like whatever. And the next year they want you back, and then they want you to win it, and it's kind of crazy.
When did you know?
I didn't know till okay. I knew when they wanted me back. I knew I knew I was going to, but I didn't think I was going to win it.
When did you know you were going to win? Because I've had conversations with them.
I was going to win it. I was going to win it till we had the final match, and it was me, Priest, Darian, and Landon. And then that's when they told me. That's when I
love them because they spoil me.
Yeah. It's an annoying concept, but it's also, I get it. Where like, you don't want to discourage people in tournament, and then so anything can happen. Guy thinks he's gonna win, he's not gonna win, and now he goes, okay, well, I don't want to fucking be here now, so he doesn't go to the show, or some shit like that. But like, I want to say too, I don't think I was the first person picked to win it. To be honest, I wasn't, and that's okay.
I was not in on that meeting. So.
Yeah, I don't even know who it was, but I know I wasn't, and then I know, like think of Priest. Priest was in the finals the year before. So like, Me and Priest are boys. I love Priest, but like,
He's the funniest bastard on the planet, by the way.
God, he's a
So funny.
nasty, funny bastard. I love Priest, but like, I don't know. Like, I learned when I was at Ian's, and I didn't really learn it at Ian's. I kind of like learned it there, and then I started learning it, continuing this journey of wrestling. You don't expect anything in wrestling. Don't expect a goddamn thing because one, you don't get your hopes, and two, anything can happen. Anything can change at any given moment, and it's kind of like life, where like if you expect shit, chances are you're gonna be life. So I don't expect a lot, and I just fucking want to put the work in. That's all I ask. That's it. That's fucking
So
simple.
SCI's in a couple weeks. Are you still going in with the same chip on your shoulder?
God, yeah. Be the first ever 2-time SCI champion. Like, who doesn't want that? And knowing what I know now, and I don't know, there's been a weird chip lately on my shoulder, or whatever the analogy you want to call it, where like, it's not that I know that I'm the man, because I know I'm not, but like, it's not that idea. It's just like, and it's not even like being like pissed off and frustrated where like all these people doubted me, fuck this, fuck them. It's not even that either. A lot of it's just like, I've been in a mindset where like, I know what I am, I know who I am, I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not. And no matter what the outcome is, you're gonna get the best damn me that you're gonna see in that ring. And that doesn't mean for the opponent. That doesn't mean for the fans. That's just in general. Like, that's what I want to. I don't know. There's just something when that I could have a shitty day. I could feel like shit. I could be shitting my brains out. I could be sick, or I could be happy and energetic. When I walk out that curtain, everything is forgotten about, and it reminds me of the days playing football where this is the only time in my life, and I'm sure there's other people that have other explanations of whatever their hobbies are. Like, I'm sure you have some where time doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And that's fucking rare and cool to like think that way. And there ain't nothing like it for me. So, yeah.
2 things we want to close on. One, how good am I at karaoke?
Pretty fucking good.
We peeled the curtain back a little bit. You worked an NWA show a couple weeks ago, and we somehow ended up. This is the life of this is my life and your life. We somehow ended up. You had a flight to LA like 5 hours later, and yet you still chose to come out to us to a VFW bar that had karaoke.
Decatur, which is literally bumfuck nowhere.
Decatur, Tennessee.
Probably the only.
We had to get let in by someone who was a veteran.
Yeah.
And they signed a book to go in and shit like that, and they had karaoke. And I will do karaoke anywhere, but who is the surprise for karaoke night there, Manders?
Jada Newman.
Jada fucking Newman going up and singing Toby Keith songs at karaoke to bed.
Playing fucking Creed in a fucking bumfuck bar in Decatur, Tennessee, dude.
Oh, that was my choice. That was my decision. Right,
dude, I love Creed. I don't care what anybody says.
Dude, unabashedly, no, unironically.
No, not at all. I love Creed. Like, I like Creed. Like, you can ask Sawyer. There was a trip that we did. Babe, what was that trip when I played Creed? Remember when we played Creed? Where were we going? Oh, she goes, you act like it's only been one time. So we went somewhere. I think we were getting something. Like, it wasn't like a show or anything. And I blasted Creed for like an hour. And she was like, oh my fucking God. What is
legitimately good songs, okay? Like,
they do. Like, I know all of them because I remember when I was a kid, my dad had this. Like, this is when like it was just CDs. You didn't have a smartphone. You didn't. It sounded like an old. Jesus Christ.
Hey! Watch it. Watch it.
What's that? Cringy Christian music is what she calls it. Anyway, it's dad rock, according to her. Where like, I love dad rock. I just do. I don't, because I guess I am just a white bald male that loves fucking rock bad music. When I was a kid, my dad would have these CD cases, and one of them was Creed. It's like Creed's greatest hits, but I know all the songs. So like, especially when like when like the last show was My Own Prison.
No, he's telling me every song is your after Creed song. That's
Yeah.
the bit. That's the bit.
I started realizing after the karaoke shit we did, I literally go, oh my god, they literally picked this because of Creed of My Own Prison. Like,
so here's the backstory there. Whenever Matt and I get together, we will hit a karaoke bar and sing Creed.
Stop.
100%. No, we do it. We did Chinese a couple months ago. Like whenever we get together, and then whenever one of us goes to karaoke bar, we send each other a video of the other one doing Creed every time.
Oh my god, I love it so much.
Yeah.
That checks out. Okay.
That's why we're friends.
That's why we're friends.
Hey, I wanted a question, and I want you to repeat this to the other room when I ask it, because I'm 100% serious about it, okay?
Okay.
I've spent the last hour putting you over and how great you are, and yet why are you not the best wrestler in your own household?
Hey, if we're talking about wins and losses.
No, you're not the best wrestler in your own household.
I'm just saying here, we're talking about wins and losses between me and Sawyer. I'm winning that.
All right, tell us the question I just asked you.
So you want to hear this, Sawyer? Ben goes, so why are you not the best wrestler in your household? So he's saying why I'm not the best. Because I have a okay. I'm trying to say this correctly. I know I'm not, because I have never met somebody that is so relentless and doesn't give a flying shit where you come from, how big you are, don't care what you look like, where you what 3-letter E at the end or W, it doesn't matter. When you talk about presence and you talk about like energy in a room, there ain't nobody does it like Sawyer Ray.
No, your partner is and I've said this to her, and I'll say it to her face, and I'll say it on this podcast. Is a force. She is an absolute force.
Like, and it's not even like entity. It's like it's really just, and it's the reason where like I like who doesn't want to be like that?
Mm-hmm. There are only a few people in your life who walks in the room, everyone knows she's there. Yeah.
What did you say? She goes, "You're such a nerd." But no, it's for real. Where like when you walk into a room, when somebody like everybody wants this. When somebody can walk into a room and literally everybody can just stare. It's her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you like.
She's captivating.
It's rare. It's rare to be. You can't be like that. You got to be like. I mean, you can be like that, but like really, like you can try, but like I think that's the point is you don't try. And that's what it is. Like you either have it or you don't.
Yeah, she has it.
Yeah, she's
she
fucking
has capital I, capital T.
Yeah, it.
Yeah.
Not the clown werewolf, honey, but you're it. He goes, whatever.
Whatever. All right.
Whatever.
I'll let you go. I love you. I'm proud of you.
I had fun. This was good. Yeah, I told you we'd go now.
Send my love to the missus. I will see you at SCI.
Yeah.
Which is July 12th, 13th at the PW Arena in Chattanooga. If you don't have tickets, you should come see one called Manders. You should come see 16 best unsigned wrestlers in the whole wide world in my little burg. Where else will you be over the next few weeks?
I will be in Houston and Dallas for GCW, and then Sunday I'll be in Indy for KOBK. And then the next week after that is I have New South, and then I have Inspire in Austin, Texas. So those places I will be for the next 2 weeks before we hit SCI.
Nice, very nice. If people want to find you on social media or book you on the rare day you're not booked, or how would people discover One Called Manders?
Go to Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, and you type in the number 1 called _Manders. You will find me. I have a link of Big Cartel. Please buy stuff. I have nice goodies in there: shirts, T-shirts, banners, even drink gear. If you are interested in that, which a lot of weird people are. So there you go. Yep.
Okay. All right. Hey, thank you. You're the best. And
Dude,
we'll see you in a couple weeks. Enjoy your
yes.
trip, man.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate you, bro.
Dude, thank you. That went really well.
Yeah, that was fun.